Welcome to Gen X Unfiltered, where three Gen Xers dig through the emotional junk drawer of life
and turn it into an unhinged group chat about everything from pop culture and personal growth to the stuff we never really unpacked.
If you've ever been told to toughen up but not cry in commercials, you're our people.
Welcome back to Gen X Unfiltered. Today we're talking about the joys of being Gen X and parenting our boomer parents.
Yep, the people who taught us to ride a bike now need us to explain how Netflix works.
Basically, we're tech support, chauffeur, and emotional support animal for all rolled into one.
Hi guys,
What's up, everybody?
back.
Hey,
We didn't totally butcher that opening.
Well,
It's more natural.
I pretty much butchered that, but that's okay.
Again, we took, and the fact is you're reading it too.
Well, we're reading it. It's a
Yeah.
cold open.
I know.
We're
I mean-
going in cold. We've never seen this, Eric or I.
It's true.
And the funny thing is like all we do is take a week off and we get rusty.
My first one was better.
That's fine. Well,
But I screwed up on the first one, so
you
Oh
guys,
my God.
we won't know until you guys are listening to this which opening made it.
maybe we'll leave
of
them both in.
Maybe. But Eric, Steve, how are you today?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
Doing great.
Great.
How's the carpet?
Great.
Oh yes, just literally, Eric was sitting down after he pushed record on the last camera. And those of you watching us on the YT will see what he has in his hand, but he dumped a whole Wendy's Coke all
Diet
over
Coke and
his
Coke
floor.
Zero.
You can't really see, but the cup's like a quarter full. It was closer to half. What,
Yeah.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was like, oh, crap. Here we go.
So it's fine. Everybody spills. You don't cry over spilt Coke.
No,
Is it Diet Coke?
it was Coke Zero.
Loser. Diet
Jeez.
Coke's where it's at.
I have a
No
root
way.
beer.
This has become our little tradition. We go through phases. So, little insider tip before we get into our topic today. We normally 99% of the time film our podcast on Friday evenings.
Yeah.
End of the week, no work tomorrow. We
Yeah.
can take our time.
Yeah.
We usually get something to eat beforehand because nobody wants to do a podcast with a hangry Steve and a hangry Eric. So
No.
Hangry Kelly's hilariously fun, though.
yeah, well,
She's always enjoy
That's
it.
right.
I'm perfect. I'm just gonna fix my little halo.
Halo, yeah, it's crooked.
But so for a while we were getting like rice bowls from this like Middle Eastern
place.
shawarma
Mediterranean
place,
place? Yeah, it was good.
Mediterranean. I'm not sure where it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were good, and then we kind of got sick of those. So lately we've been getting Wendy's, and that circles us back to the fact that Eric had a Wendy's Coke Zero and spilled it all over
The story just came full circle there, right?
It did.
Perfect. So now Wendy's was in the house and I spilled it.
And that's that.
That's right.
All right, guys, but today we are talking about Gen Xers and their boomer parents and how, at least from our experience, and I'm sure most people's experience, how the roles are now starting to become more obviously reversed.
It's true. It's weird. You can see it happening like in slow motion, and now it's kind of like in full swing.
Yeah. No, I know. It's weird. You don't try not to. I don't think about it too much, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a
I
thing.
would say for myself, though, like personally, it's only been in the past couple of years where I've really noticed it. I'm sure it happened. It's been sprinkled in a little bit.
No, absolutely. It's sort of, there's a little thing here, a little thing there, but now it's sort of, more often than not, something's happening, whether someone's getting hurt or going to the doctor or whatever. Yeah.
Or making questionable decisions.
Yeah,
and now,
that too.
and like full disclosure, like all of us are very lucky enough to still have both of our parents in our lives,
Yeah.
and overall, generally speaking, knock on wood, healthy.
I was going to say exactly. They're all
Yeah.
living independently,
Yeah.
living in their own homes, apartments, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're super lucky that way.
So I know a lot of people's experiences, and our parents are in their early 70s. So, I know lots of people out there have
Yeah.
parents that are older that are dealing with more substantive health issues or whatnot. But
Yeah.
I feel like we're just kind of on the beginning of it.
Well, yeah, if you're a Gen Xer who's in their 50s now,
Yeah.
you could have a parent that's into their 80s or 90s potentially, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we have a little list, sort of some broader topics that kind of I didn't really think of until I read the list, and I'm like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
Sort
no,
of check,
that's
check,
some of
check.
the stuff. Like again, I don't think of myself as getting older. Obviously when you have
Yeah.
your birthday, you're like, oh yeah, I'm another year older. But
Yeah.
day to day, I don't generally think about it that often. Same with my parents. You don't really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you'll see them again or talk to them. And it's like, oh yeah, they're,
Yeah.
they aren't getting any younger either.
No.
None of us
No.
are, sadly.
Yeah.
So-
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
One of the topics is role reversal, shifting from being cared for to being the caregiver. Like I said, we're all very lucky that, on a 24/7 basis, we don't have to be a caregiver to our parents. They've obviously had moments of illnesses or procedures where we've had to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I can see, from my experience, sort of seeing I was very lucky, my grandmother lived to be 90. And so I was an adult when she passed away, but I saw my mom taking care of my grandma who ended up with dementia, was in a nursing home. And so like, she was a very big caregiver to her.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I can see, and it's taxing, like it's draining. Like we were fortunate enough where my grandmother was able to be in a nursing home where she had the care, but it was still draining for my mom.
Oh,
totally.
yeah, it's hard to go through that. So, yeah, seeing someone you care about going through that, especially when it comes to like dementia or all something, like you can't do
losing their
anything,
facilities like that.
do anything about
faculties,
But
sorry.
what's I'm putting you guys on the spot because I like to do that.
Yeah.
But
Here comes the spot.
Yeah.
But what is one example? It could be something small or just overall general that either one of you have experienced from both or one of your parents that's like a role reversal where you're kind of like, oh, okay. I'm more like the parent right now.
The first thing I think of is like driving. Like, definitely like if we're going on a situation where we're like driving, like I'm driving with my family for any sort of a distance, like to visit relatives I have that live across the province. But me or my brother are driving. Like my dad's not driving anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like his choice or you're just telling him?
A little of both. I think he didn't fight it though. I think he's happy to just have a nap in the car.
Probably.
That's good. That's good. You kind of hope that's the way and not.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't fight it too much, so it was easy that way. But definitely, like he's at the point now where like long distance drives just aren't in his wheelhouse anymore.
Yeah.
So he's he's happy to have a nap, and we'll take care of the driving.
What about you, Steve? Do you have something that sticks out?
Nothing. Well, I think a lot of just like little things like that, like whether it's not so much the driving, but just kind of like especially with like my mom, it's like she likes to talk to people in public all the time. Where it's like you gotta be careful who you talk to or what you're saying, or she likes to sometimes think someone you shouldn't be talking politics with strangers because.
And let's just be very clear here, though. Like Eric and I obviously know Steve's mom, and she is the sweetest, kindest. Like means nothing bad on the planet.
No, but she'll just try and talk to people about anything and not kind of.
She doesn't have the awareness that.
Well, the awareness all that, especially right now, there's a pretty big divide between left and right and everything. So it's like not everyone's happy just to have a chat about
politics.
I mean, and stuff. So it's like you just need to be careful who you're talking to.
And your mom and her good heartness is the one that will congratulate somebody on being pregnant when they're not.
Exactly.
That kind of thing, right?
She's that kind of. She's been known to put her foot in her mouth. So it's like and nowadays with kids and other people with cell phones and stuff like that, I'm like you don't need to end up in somebody's video who's calling you out for.
Oh my God, no.
Whatever. So I'm like just
you don't want to go viral for the wrong reason.
Yeah, that's fair enough because like that's exactly it. And again, like your mom is just probably like, what? I'm just being, like.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So it's like you just need to be aware.
Yeah.
So just the little things like that so far.
For my parents, like I can't think of any. I mean, I'm sure there is a million examples. I have a sister who's younger, and we all live like close enough within driving distance to each other. But my biggest thing is like, I am the de facto kid that gets called for things. And I don't mind being that person. So it's all those little examples of that where it's like, oh, shoot, my parents can't to handle this themselves. They need help from me or whatever.
Yeah.
And like my dad's pretty, for being his age, he's pretty tech savvy. But like he'll have like computer questions or he'll have like banking questions or like simple things like
you're getting ahead of your
You're
list.
jumping ahead
I know
here.
I am. I'm just
You're calling us when this happens.
It's called foreshadowing.
It's called jumping ahead.
No, it's not. But anyway, I was giving my example.
Okay,
but I'll move on.
Yeah, no. But I was going to say, don't get too far down that rabbit hole.
I'm not.
'cause
I wasn't. I was
It's
just.
a topic on this list.
I was just giving broad examples.
But
But
no,
anyway, the
yeah.
next one is the sandwich generation, balancing care for kids if you have them and aging parents at the same time. None of us have kids, so we can't.
Can't really speak to that point
No,
specifically.
but we see, we have friends or family, like, I have nieces and nephews, and, so seeing my siblings and that and friends that are like that, it's definitely, it's a balancing act.
That'd be a huge challenge. I can, only imagine like having to take care of kids and aging parents at the same time. Like that is gotta be a huge strain.
Oh, that on top of a 40-hour, at least 40-hour plus work week, depending on what you do, like on top,
Fit a career in there too, like, and good luck.
Yeah, no, I know. It's,
Since none of us have kids, we'll kind of just move past that one since we don't have first-hand experience on it. But
just saying, I can definitely see that, especially like kids, and if your kids are into sports or something like that, like your free time is
it's just
oh my God,
limited to
it's
begin
just
with.
extra pressure, right?
Oh, a
to
lot of
fit it
extra
all
pressure.
in.
Absolutely,
It actually reminds me of something. I got my taxes done today, and I was talking to like the accountant that does my taxes, and her daughter is really into baseball, and she was just saying like the schedule is ridiculous, and it's not even like rep baseball; it's just like regular like baseball, and she's like. Her daughter wants to kind of go to that next step, but she's kind of like, maybe let's rethink this.
You hear a lot of people saying that when it comes
Yeah.
to like whatever sport. It's like maybe just stick to the house league because as soon as you start to go into that rep league or whatever you call it, it's like all of a sudden it's like
it's travel costs.
I have friends that straight up told their kids, "You're not doing competitive stuff." Like they're like, "I want to do." They're like, "Nope, you're not doing competitive dance because I don't want my whole entire life to be shipping you to competition." So
some people love it, and hey, that's awesome, but it's definitely it's a huge commitment.
All right, next point is the healthcare navigation, dealing with doctors, specialists, and insurance paperwork for parents. All of us definitely have had experience with that. I'm going to say that I've been extremely lucky and my experience has been very limited given my parents are in their early 70s and, you know, very, very, very limited having to deal with stuff like that or at least very minor stuff I've had to deal with, like taking my mom to get her cataracts done or stuff like that. But I know like you guys have had parents that have had health stuff that you've had to kind of, and it does take over your whole entire life, depending if it's like, you know, hospitals or surgeries or whatever. Yeah,
I mean, the real lesson in advocating for yourself, like my dad had hip surgery done last summer, but it was a real fight to get that surgery done and get him like in front of a surgeon. It was actually like the surgeon who did it was the second surgeon that he had visited. Like the first surgeon kept giving him like different goalposts to pass, and every time my dad would get there, I'd be like, no, do this now. And my dad was in pain, like serious pain for like years, needed the surgery, and we had to get him a new surgeon. And it was funny when we got him in front of the new surgeon, right away he's like, this is an emergency situation, we can't put this off. And my dad was like in the operating room within, it was like 2 to 3 weeks.
You realize you do, like you said, you do need to, whether for yourself or for your parents. Family, like you definitely need to be an advocate for your care, because up here, I mean, it's free, obviously, but it's still not perfect, and
absolutely not exactly.
Some doctors are way better than others in terms of helpfulness and this and that, but it's
exactly. It was pretty clear that first surgeon was not interested in doing the surgery for whatever reason. I don't know why, but we had to get him in front of somebody else.
And I mean, I'm
glad we did.
In the long run, though, did you want that guy to do it anyway, since he wasn't really into it at the start?
No, it was funny because my dad picked him because he was like the highest rated. Because how it works is you get to pick who you want to do the surgery from the list. And my dad picked the highest rated surgeon. He's like, this guy's
sense. Do the same, because you don't know any of these people, so clearly you're gonna.
But look, it worked out in the best. He got it done quick.
It did. Well, I mean, he really should have had it done like a couple of years prior to that.
But I'm just saying, as soon as he switched, he got it done quick.
Exactly. The point I'm saying is, look for a second opinion and advocate for yourself and your parents, right?
I think that's the biggest thing is because a lot of, especially, well, I mean, I can't even really speak to it, but like my dad had surgery like in the February. It was like standard surgery. It wasn't anything like emergent or anything like that. But I was the one that my parents called at midnight the night before, my mom freaking out thinking my dad was having a heart attack and like yada yada, and like at least me, like I instantly just go into like, okay, let's go, we got to get this done, we got to go, we got to do this, we got to go to the hospital, what are you doing? And I'm one of those people, like I have to be there when the doctors talk to you so I can hear from the doctors what's going on. I mean, but I just sort of like, thrive is a weird word, but that's just where I get, like, I'm just like, okay, this is the task, let's do it. Whereas my sister is most definitely not that person. So that's why I'm guessing I get the phone call. But, but like, that's sort of my only experience with it. Like I said, other minor stuff, like my mom having cataract eye surgery, like I just had to drive her there at 6 a.m. But like, what about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, both my parents, my mom, within the last year, I mean, she had a stroke, as you guys know. So that was terrifying. Thankfully, she's okay, and like, thank God, my dad was home and recognized the signs and got to the hospital right away. But so that was scary as shit.
Yeah.
And then a couple years ago, my dad had his hip. My dad had a hip replacement years ago, and then he got some sort of weird infection in there, and then that almost that was really bad too.
We had like sepsis.
Yeah. So that was probably like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But so there's been a few big ones like that, and then just the little ones like cataract surgeries and.
Well, and you're in the not unique, but you're in a unique situation
I was say,
where
the
your
difference
sibling.
to me is like my sister lives like 5-6 hours away from here, so she's it's me calling her like when I got when I got my dad called me and was like, I think your mom's having a stroke, we're taking her to the hospital. I'm the one calling my sister, being like, hey, here's what's going on, and then she's. Kind of stuck with them, like, what's going on? Should I come home? Should I this? Should I that?
And I think it's just those moments where, like, again, like in day-to-day life, I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, my parents are getting older, blah, blah, blah. But then when those moments happen, it's kind of just that like, oh shit. right? Like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
no.
Well, it's scary because again, you don't always think about us getting older, them getting old until that happens, and you really realize that, hey,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And like any of the stuff we talked about could happen to anybody at any age, but I
Yeah.
think
Oh, absolutely,
because
yeah.
it's like, our parents and I don't know, it's just
well, you
weird.
just realize they're getting older, a little more, frail with time and stuff.
Yeah.
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 Well, a perfect example is like, my dad it was interesting when my dad went in for his surgery. It was a gallbladder surgery. When he went in, he said to me, he's like, this is the first time I've ever been to a hospital, like as a patient, since I had my appendix out like over 40 years ago. I was like,
That's wild.
what? And then I'm thinking,
yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, you're right. I've never, like, my mom's had to go to the hospital a few times, but like, I'm like, my
Yeah.
dad's never had to go.
That's good for your dad.
That's impressive.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's
impressive health
also
record.
how I knew my dad wasn't feeling well, because
Yeah,
he's like,
he's
take
in
me
the
to the
hospital.
hospital.
No,
Yeah.
it's like you've been
But-
gone like 30, 40 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
like clearly.
But one of the things, so like, 2 months later, they had to do a vacation where they had to travel and drive in the car really far. And obviously it was planned before the surgery, but he got cleared to go. It was fine. My dad loves driving. And it was a lot on him. And because my dad like thrives in driving situations, he loves road trips. And like he did it fine and it was fine, but like he was beat up after. And I
Yeah.
was like, oof, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's
He
just
was-
one of those little things where, and even he realized that he can't do that anymore. And it was kind of just one of those like
Yeah.
reminders,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, when even our parents, you don't. I'm sure they don't think how old they are, but
No.
then some of
Yeah.
that kind of,
Yeah.
you realize, okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can't do that. Or I need to be
Yeah.
cognizant of the fact that I am getting a bit older, and
Yeah.
even for us, I mean, hell, like last weekend, a bunch of us went out for Eric's birthday, right? And we
Yeah.
did some physical activity that big in the water, like
It was
trampoline.
a
and-
water like obstacle course. Yeah.
And I think we all said but we felt it the next
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, I can jump off. There's like maybe 20-foot high things so you could jump off in the water and
Yeah.
stuff. And it was a ton of fun. But holy shit, the next day it's like I feel my age because
Oh,
20
same.
years ago this would have been no problem.
My elbow's still not back to 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
no,
Can
so
we move on?
getting
That's
old,
our
it's-
next
yeah.
podcast topic, okay? Also, I just noticed as we're sitting here, Steve has bare feet. He's showing off those little piggies for free.
Ooh, yeah. So,
A little preview for the OF
Damn,
content.
You're probably like, what the hell's
It's
going
an
on?
it's,
my,
it's,
my.
it's an inside joke, but talking about Steve's feet on
Yeah,
OF.
we keep pressuring him to start an OnlyFans for his feet.
Let me know if you guys want to see an own. I'll put them up there. If they can get me to work, I'll do it. I don't care.
All right. The,
step in a pie.
the next one is a big one. And I know Steve, out of all three of us, probably is the biggest annoyance. Actually, I just have a recent story about this, but tech gap, teaching parents how to use smartphones, online banking, or video calls. Like I said, my dad is luckily pretty adaptable to like learning new things. Like he always has a new smartphone. He generally knows how to use it. There's certain
Yeah.
little things that he doesn't, but he's open to learning. And so it's not too bad. But I mean, my mom was the one like years ago, she refused to, like when we were younger, when the internet first came out, she
Yeah.
refused to get the internet because it just scared her. She didn't know what it was.
Oh,
She
is this
might
the
have
dark
been
web?
smart to- yeah.
Am I on the dark
But
web?
then we ended up getting it, and like now my mom has a smartphone. She texts me.
That's
Like
usually the way it
it's,
goes.
it's
It's-
totally. I mean, she's not a genius at it, but like she can text, which is
Well,
amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, though. The technology's gotten way easier, too, right? Like, to use
Yeah.
an
Way more
iPhone or
simpler,
a
yeah.
Galaxy phone is a lot easier than trying to dial in on
But-
the modem.
Oh
and,
my
you
god!
know,
Or like back flip phone texting was like the T9N.
no,
Yeah,
but I just
like,
mean like my
yeah.
mom was the one that like wouldn't use a bank machine either. She was too scared that it was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do something bad. But my personal quick example recently about the tech app, and I know you guys each have a story about that, but I'm in a group chat with like my parents, my sister, and my parents' phone was on the same thing and their numbers were combined. So like both phones were giving wrong messages. Anyway, we were trying to start a new group, but I had to get my dad, and my parents were away. So this is all through text.
which was always good. Even just in general
Yeah.
now, even just one of us trying to walk someone through something that's not
So
that easy. Yeah.
long story short, we got it figured out, but oh man, I just wanted to like, because I would be like, Dad, do this, type from mom's phone on this. And he would type on his phone and be like, yeah, it works. And I'm like, no, but you got to use mom's phone so I can see it's mom's number. And we got it though. But like, it was very like, oh no, just listen.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, 100%. I don't know how many times my mom has called me, but can I ask you a question about Facebook? I'm like, oh my God. Why am I seeing this ad? Why am I seeing this person sending this stuff? I don't care about this thing. I'm like trying to explain to her that there are ads in Facebook and that's
Yeah.
why it's free. And so that's why you're seeing this stuff. And they
Yeah.
think this is what you want to see. And
She doesn't understand.
Constant phone calls about that. I don't know how many times I had to walk my dad through it. I had to like set up the TV. My dad's actually a really smart guy, but for some reason when it comes to like technology like this stuff,
Your
it just
breaks his brain.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your dad is so bad at technology. And if you're listening out there, I mean,
No,
I
I love
don't
my
mean
dad,
that
but it's just
badly.
it's always.
like, and your dad's super smart. Like,
But
has
when it comes to like
yeah.
getting the TV to work or something like that, it's it's
yours.
I've had to do a lot of
Tech support.
with my mom and dad over the years.
What about you, Eric?
Oh, constantly. Like I went to my parents for my birthday. I went to go see them, and the first thing I walked through the door, not hi, how are you? Not happy birthday. My dad comes at me with a cell phone. I'm like, oh God, here we go. And he's like, I want you to show me how to send this picture to my friend. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm just going to point out that Eric's dad does not have an accent. So I'm
No,
not
yeah.
sure where that accent. That's
in my mind, that's how he talks to
yes.
me.
Eric's dad's very goofy. So maybe that's why you kind of got that like goofy accent. But his dad
think
does
so.
not have an accent. But anyway,
No.
go on.
No, so anyways, I wasn't even going to fight it because I'm like, there's better ways to do what he wants to do, but I'm just going to show him what he wants. Basically, he had a picture on his cell phone, and he wanted to send the picture to his friend, but he wanted to email the picture to his Gmail. So on his desktop computer, he could send it to his friend through Gmail. And I'm like, you could just do that directly through your phone, but forget it. I'm not going to go into this. I'm just going to give you what you want and get you on your way.
It's just easier to be like, here's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's.
Yeah.
Video calls. My parents know how to FaceTime. We've done that often. Online banking. My parents do online banking. They're pretty good at it. I mean, they use it. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, Steve, I know you said your mom recently, or not recently, but sort of recently learned how to do e-transfers.
Yeah. She'll e-transfer sometimes and stuff. Yeah. So and like I said, this stuff's gotten a lot easier, less complicated to use. So that is good.
But I think it's just intimidating.
Well, it is
because they've never grown up with it.
Yeah,
right?
No, exactly. We're that generation that we remember the old and grew up with the new.
Yeah.
Whereas for them, it's
Okay, next one. Financial support. Sometimes helping parents cover expenses or managing their money. I don't think any of us have ever had to help our parents financially. I mean,
no.
My parents have never asked me. So
No, I'm really lucky this way. My parents actually do like online banking, and I'm like actually impressed by they can do that and look after themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're more behind the times on that than like.
What's this? What is this shade? Where's it coming from?
I was talking to Eric one time and I was saying how all my like utility bills or any bill I just have on auto pay so that I don't have to think about it. It's just out of my bank account.
Yeah.
Like it's just done. And Eric's like, no, don't you want to like physically take the money? I'm like, no, because I won't do it. I'll forget. And
I gotta look at the bill and see what I'm getting charged for.
Okay.
I just do auto pay willy nilly. What if they make a mistake?
Well, you can see the payment that comes out if it's generally the same because they're not going to be the same all the time.
No, like my last gas bill jumped. I'm like, what the hell happened here? And the rates changed.
I just picture but you can't do shit about it.
But now I know why it jumped.
But like Eric's the guy. I picture him like once a month sitting down at his table with his little like desk lamp with his glasses,
with my readers on,
and his little like fountain pen with his checkbook out, and he's like,
I do not balance a checkbook.
I know.
No, those days I think are long gone. But no, it's.
So I mean, I was just teasing. We always tease him about that. But yeah, I mean,
it's fun.
And managing money. I mean, I'm assuming my parents have enough money. I haven't really talked to them about it. I mean, I'm assuming they're managing.
No,
money
my
fine.
parents and I, we don't talk too much about financial stuff.
They're living just fine.
If my parents ever show up at my front door with a couple of suitcases, I'll know that they weren't managing the money very well.
Exactly. Yeah. Like what happened to the house?
All right. Downsizing and decluttering, assisting parents in moving to smaller homes or retirement communities. I experienced that when my parents downsized from like family home, like, 3-bedroom family home. And then they downsized to more of like a townhouse type thing. I mean, it's still an okay size, but it's like, 2-bedroom, like more compact.
I was going to say, I think my parents are the only ones that have really sort of downsized from a house to an apartment.
And they went to an apartment. Yeah. And my parents eventually want to like downsize into renting something like a condo or something smaller.
I get it. As you get older, I can see why. Like, having a house or whatever, it's a lot of work. So,
but in the process, my mom, she's savage. She threw out all my old stuff.
Like my dad threw in my Castle Grayskull.
No, not Castle Grayskull.
Right?
I know.
Like, why didn't they
son
ask?
Of a bitch, I'll kill you.
My mom,
worth money.
My mom threw out all my like Babysitter Club books, my Sweet Valley High books, like everything.
Not even asking, hey, do you want this? Like, just tossed it.
Yeah.
She's brutal.
Your parents haven't downsized yet.
No, my parents are still in the house that I
basically
grew up in for the most part. Yeah.
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 Do they have a lot of like stuff?
They've been doing their best to declutter, but there is still stuff there.
That's good.
Also, I will say there's still a lot of stuff in the basement.
Oh, I can imagine. It's just natural with like I was surprised my parents when they moved and I remember it was like, oh my god, like I had no idea how much stuff was in that basement.
Oh, basements.
They didn't have that big of a house to begin with, but I was like, man, oh man, he really packed the stuff in this.
They keep trying, like every year they have a garage sale to get rid of a lot of their stuff, and then the stuff doesn't sell. They bring it back in the house again.
Why don't they just donate
so every year
it?
they're trying to sell the same stuff over and over again.
No, that's the problem with garage sales. Like if once it's out of the house, it's like you gotta just
you can't bring it back in.
You sell it, you throw it out, you donate
if
it.
you're in Canada, the Diabetic Association does free pickups to your door. You schedule it online, and they come and take all your shit, and then it goes towards the Diabetic Society.
Yeah,
So-
no, exactly. There's so many ways, but yeah, it's you just don't want to bring it in the house.
All right, the next one on the list, we've kind of already talked about a little bit, but medical emergencies, being on call for hospital visits or urgent situations. And I'm the de facto person that's called. Steve is as well because his sibling is, 5 hours away. Eric, your brother lives closer to your parents, so he kind of does the immediate.
So he's immediate. I'm kind of overflow and like extra support.
Yeah, and I, like you're definitely like your brother's kind of like my sister. Like they obviously care and mean well, but like they don't always get all the information you need.
No, sometimes they can get kind of dragged into the weeds of the situation as well.
And I just need to know black and white what the heck's going on. Just tell it to me. Let's figure it out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Steve, you're definitely the.
Oh, I've been called for everything from like injuries to their cat died. I think I did that. It was the one. I think that was one of the last ones I did. Like, I mean, I talked to them more than that, but the last sort of quote unquote emergency.
They called and they're like, "She's dead on the living room floor."
Oh, I know. I don't know what happened.
God.
Their cat just
passed away.
Well, she was old.
right in front of them. Like, yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, so I had to go and help them. My dad,
wrap her up
in blankets and take her to the that was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was.
And it sucks because even if
that was like a Saturday morning too. It was 7:30 in the morning. I was like, why is my phone ringing? Why is my mom calling?
Well, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but me, like everybody in my circle, friends, like parents, family now, we 99% of the time text, right? So there's a running joke now when especially between me and my sister, because we never call each other. And there's a running joke where like the phone rings, I see it's my sister. I'm like, first, what's wrong? What's going on? Or what's going on? What's wrong?
It's weird. Yeah, because exactly, like phone calls now, they seem to be really for emergencies more than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, that was like when my mom had her stroke. Like my dad, like rarely called. So usually 99% it's my mom calling me.
And it was during work. Though.
I was at work. I was on a work phone call on Teams, so I'm sitting there.
And they never call you out.
And my phone vibrated. I'm like, oh, my phone's ringing. And I see I'm like, my dad's calling. I'm like, okay, he never calls me. And then so it's kind of like, well, wait a minute and see. And then it went right to voice. It went to voicemail, but it's. The iPhone does that translations, whatever.
It'll text you the
so
message.
I'm reading it, and then I'm trying to read it, but it's kind of popping, and I just see the words "mom stroke." I'm like,
holy crap.
Shit. And I'm like on a call, like
in the middle of stuff.
Leading it too. Like I'm involved.
Jesus.
Like I'm not just listening. Like I'm actively a part of it. I'm like,
I gotta go.
I don't know what to do. So luckily it wrapped up like right away, and I just went outside, and it was like I listened to the voicemail. I was just like, I gotta go. That was that one was that was definitely one I did not see coming. I was like,
that's
completely
crazy.
left field. Yeah,
but it's always the joke, like anybody, or if I call somebody, because sometimes like. Especially me and my sister, like we text 24/7 all the time. But like sometimes like I'll be like, oh, this is just really annoying to text. I have a story to tell. So I'll call her. And the first thing when she picks up, I'll be like, don't worry, nothing's wrong.
You have to give it the disclaimer.
Literally.
To start the call.
Because everybody's like, ugh.
Why are you calling me?
What's going on here?
And I mean, like same with my parents. I talk to my parents now more that they text than when we just did like weekly phone calls or whatever. Right?
Oh yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like my parents, like I've called them more than they've called me recently. But if they call like my mom at midnight, looking at why is my mom calling me? You're just like deep breath.
You just know
funny.
something's not right at 12 o'clock at night if they're calling. It's just what is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's funny how it's so different.
Yeah, I'd rather text with my mom, to be honest, because she's hard of hearing. Yeah. So
that's you say that.
Phone conversations can be very challenging because I'm like, I'll say something and there'll be like a pause, and she'll be like, I'm like. You didn't know you have no idea what I said, do you? She's like, I'm like, oh, okay.
Is it like that?
She's not hearing me right now.
Is it like
you start recording, you're going to leave me everything, right? And cut my brother out of the will? Got him.
Is that like the scene in Roseanne where she's calling people to tell her that the dad died and she's talking to the
remember that scene?
Yeah, she's like, he died.
Or he's gone.
He's dead.
Dad's gone.
He's gone. He's dead.
died.
He's dead.
My mom does have, I think it's selective though, because her battery seems to die in her hearing aids at opportune moments.
Of course.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
I
probably
mean,
My battery's died. I didn't hear.
Yeah,
I didn't-
turn it down a bit. I'm
Yeah.
tired of hearing this kid trying to tell me what to do. But
Your mom lived in a house full of 3 men and her boys, so
Yeah.
I would do the same thing too.
Yeah, she had to be strategic.
That's gross. Boys are so gross. I feel bad for your mom. Boys are
You
gross.
insulted my family.
Well, I mean,
I'm not gross.
My family's honor.
That's fine. I was pretty gross actually.
all right. We talked about this super briefly, but driving concerns, having the talk about giving up the car keys. Like I said, sounds like Eric's dad luckily took the suggestion of like, hey, how about you just don't drive?
Oh yeah, he has no problem. With
I mean,
that, actually.
Yeah.
it's not like he got his license
Yeah.
taken away or anything. It's
no,
just,
no. It was actually good. Like he was trying to visit some of his friends he hasn't seen for like 20 years, I guess. Right? He kind of reconnected with them online and
Yeah.
wanted to go visit them and stuff. And the one guy lives in Peterborough
That's
area,
a good drive.
which is a good drive, right, from his place. And he asked, "He's like, hey, could you like drive me there?" And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, like of course, like we'll figure something out, right?"
Yeah.
But I was actually kind of happy he asked me to drive instead of he's like, "I'm going to drive."
Did
and it
you
was gonna
drive
be-
them there?
No, it actually worked out. The guy came to.
Oh.
The guy came to him. So
No, even
Yeah.
better. But
Yeah.
no, but at least he was like, hey, I'm not going to drive.
And that's
yeah, exactly.
3.5
Because a
hours,
couple of years
whatever.
ago, he was saying the same thing. The same situation happened. He's going to visit some old friends he was reconnected with. He's like, "I'm driving there." I'm like, "The hell you are?"
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen how you drive now, and
Oh, it's just
it's not
dangerous.
happening.
You
Yeah.
drive, you got to drive to the grocery store. It's like one thing,
Yeah.
I guess, but like,
Any sort of distance, that's not it's
Yeah.
not your wheelhouse anymore.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is going to be a struggle if, God forbid, that ever happens to my dad where he can't drive. Because, like I said, my dad lives to drive. Like,
yeah.
he just does.
No, and my parents too. Like,
And
my mom
I-
and dad every
Well-
Sunday will go out. They'll grab
Yeah.
a tea from Tim Hortons and go for a drive up,
Yeah,
in the country and stuff, and just
I think that will be a tough discussion with my dad. I'm not sure he'd be so easy to just like admit defeat
Yeah.
on that. Hopefully, it never happens. I don't know, but like,
yeah. I remember my grandfather losing his license, and my uncle Ian and
Yeah.
I
There was a fight.
went over like a lead balloon. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I know you had said that your mom, after she had her stroke, she doesn't
Yeah,
drive
I
as
don't-
much anymore.
I don't even know. Honestly, I'm not even sure she's been behind the wheel since that or not.
And,
Because
it's maybe not a bad thing.
No, which I think she's fine. But most of they only have one car, so 99% of the time
Yeah.
my dad driving anyway. So I
Yeah.
think she hasn't driven. I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
think she's been like okay to
Yeah,
drive.
yeah,
She
she
did go
just-
through some specific
yeah.
tests and stuff like that for
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, I'm not looking forward to if that moment ever
No.
comes for my dad.
Because
Well, I
it's,
get
it's a
it.
hard
It's-
conversation.
Well,
Well,
it's such
it's
a
your literal independence.
Yeah.
It's your independence, but it's also like it's their safety. It's the safety of other
Yeah.
people on the road.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know how many times I've been driving somewhere and you see someone and it's like, a little
Yeah.
old lady or an old man who's like, you clearly should not be behind the wheel. Like,
Yeah,
you can barely
exactly.
walk to your car, let alone drive a
Yeah,
5,000 pound.
hunk of steel.
Yeah.
down the
so
road.
It's, yeah.
All right, next one, which I always find lots of people, it's tough to talk about. I think it's I don't think it's a wonderful subject. I think it's important to talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
End of life planning, wills, powers of attorney, funeral preferences. My parents have wills and powers of attorney. My mom has stated very adamantly what she does and doesn't want as far as like burial or cremation.
Yeah.
My dad's just kind of like, whatever your mom does, I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, and I've been very like open with people in my life about what I want to, and I think it's
Yeah.
important conversations to have.
I
But
would like to be taxidermied, please.
yeah, we talk to your parents about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm always very open to discuss it, and I asked my parents questions about it. I know recently, or
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, my mom because my mom had to do all the estate stuff for my grandma, and so I was helping her.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she's like, "Okay, this is where all our passwords are for our banking, blah blah blah. It's
Yeah.
in here, like, and." I have her banking password if I ever needed it, like all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just good to be really open about it. The last thing you want is a surprise of like, oh
Well,
shit.
that's exactly, yeah. Like, I know my parents, they went, because I remember a couple of years ago, they were going on a trip, and before that, they were, like, they have everything planned. They have their plot booked
yeah.
and all that. So everything's done. It's all
Yeah.
there. So it's just when it happens, it's,
Yep.
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm actually, because I did the same thing. I know Tom, but they got the power of attorney for him or whatever.
Yeah.
So knowing that that's all
Yeah.
taken care of is a huge
But then you also
relief, because that's a lot of,
It's a lot of
when
planning.
you're trying to go through that and lose
Right.
a family member to begin with, let alone and trying to plan and this and that.
But I
Yeah,
also
you're,
think-
you're grieving and processing
Yeah.
it like on top of
Yeah.
I
that.
also think some of the most important conversations are just about the like if the power of attorney stuff, like will is when you pass away, right? So you're already gone and you're dealing with it.
No,
but the powers of attorney, if you're like in a coma, how long do you want to stay alive? Do you want them to try to resuscitate? Do you want to live on a machine? Like those are so important.
Oh yeah, because some people have very strong thoughts either way, right? So
I've made my plans very clear. So
I'm like, just shoot me in a cannon.
Have your Eric? Have your parents done any like planning like that?
Oh yeah,
the
same thing. They've got plots all taken care of and everything already.
Yeah.
And their wills are done. Yeah, so it's weird because it's kind of a unique situation. Like my grandmother is still alive; she's 97 years old. So really, like a lot of these conversations are about my grandmother more than my parents.
Well, you're kind of you're experiencing like the young, like the 70-year-old stuff and the like mid 90s stuff, right? So it's two different levels. Like, and so your parents are going to be at that level at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like a caretaker necessarily, but I help my grandmother more, I think, look after her situation than I do my parents.
Oh,
really.
Of course.
No, because your parents are still independent enough to do that. Where like you said, like your grandma, you got to go get her groceries and stuff.
But
like
I mean,
that.
that's like, not to be like cliche, but it's almost like you know what to expect for your parents when they hit that age, right? Like you're training for it almost, like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the important conversations to have. Don't ever be scared to talk about estate planning. It's obviously not a wonderful topic. Nobody wants to talk about death.
No, exactly. But it is very, very
it's
important.
Super important. Let people know that you trust what your wishes are.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ooh, I had the burps. Not burps, hiccups. Sorry. All right. Emotional challenges. Watching parents' health decline and coping with the role of change. I mean, we kind of talked about this mostly.
Yeah.
We're all pretty lucky. Our parents, other than like, specific situations that have had to be taken care of, overall, their health is fine.
No, like the fact that they're all living independently and healthy.
Like nobody has terminal.
Exactly. Managing their different ailments they have and stuff.
Yeah. Like nobody has like terminal illnesses or anything like that.
No.
Exactly.
Like my mom has diabetes when she's managing that for 20 years or so.
Oh yeah, I forgot my mom does too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just so used to it, but yeah.
No, exactly. Like she's on top of her A1C. Like, it's in like a good level where her doctor's happy. So
look at Eric talking all diabetes lingo.
Yeah, no, look at me go.
All right, we'll just kind of go past because, like I said, we've talked about that a lot. Sibling dynamics, negotiating responsibilities between brothers and sisters. This one's interesting. I kind of briefly said and it's no fault to my sister. It's not because my sister doesn't care. Yeah. Her brain just works differently. She's very much like, and if you're listening, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just fact. You would probably admit it too. But she's more of the like just bury or run away than deal with it.
Yeah.
And me, I'm very much the like, I kind of compartmentalize and just black out and I just do the shit that needs to be done. And then afterwards, 3 days later, I'll have my mental breakdown. But like in the moment, I'm just like, okay, you need to go to the hospital. Let's go. Do you need this? Okay, do you have to pack a bag? Okay, come on, let's go to the doctor's. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely, even my parents' estate, like I'd probably be the one that does 99% of the legwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important because I think the worst thing you can have is too many cooks in the kitchen.
100%.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need to have like one person kind of running the show and the other person hopefully supporting.
Yeah.
Or not being involved at all. Maybe that's one of those two options might be the best. But if you have someone trying to constantly the siblings butting heads.
Well, and here's the thing.
That's just going to cause more problems than anything else.
Here's the thing I know with me and my sister as well. Like I would never not make a decision without saying, hey, like this is what I think is best to do. And she would 99% of the time be like, yeah, that's like, do it, whatever. But I would always be in consultation, but I would probably be the one that's making the decision.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of how it would work between us. Like I already know that. We've already been in situations like that where I just know how she's going to be. But it's kind of good for me because like you said, I very much to survive the traumatic stuff and the sad stuff, I need to be like focused on dealing with it.
Yeah.
And that keeps me like from breaking down.
Well,
whatever.
you hear a lot of people say that, right? Like when they have someone passes away, they're so preoccupied with the planning and all this stuff that once it's finally over, that's when it kind of hits them that, oh my God, I've lost somebody important to me. Yeah.
After every emergency or scary thing, I always schedule in my head, 2 days after it's like, settled.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, today's my day where I just like veg, I rot, I cry, I just get my emotions out.
No,
I know it sounds weird, but
you need that.
It just builds up, and then it's like.
Well, it's good you have the self-awareness to know like how you work.
Yeah. I mean,
because that's the thing. I mean, the worst thing you can do is do that while it's happening, because that's just. If someone's in an emotional wreck while there's some serious stuff going, it makes it really hard.
But some people just are like that.
No, and some people, and that's no, exactly.
Like, I
everyone's got their
feel
own
like
thing,
your sister would kind of be like that.
Probably.
And that's no knock to her.
Yeah.
But I just feel like some people are more emotional, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes you just need to have
No, but
the
sometimes
sort
you
of,
need to have like a level head because there's some serious stuff going on depending on what it is, whether it's making medical decisions or legal decisions or whatever, so you need like some.
How do you think you and your brother would fare out in that?
I think pretty good for the most part. My brother's very much kind of like, if there's a plan, stick to the plan, like stick to the script. So if anything kind of goes off script, that's where we might have to run into some issues. But I think we could, for the most part, we'll be fine. I think.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Yeah. And
And that's a good thing. I mean, but we all have.
We all get along with our
good
siblings.
relationships with our siblings. There's obviously siblings, so there's always some headbutting, but overall we all get along with them.
Oldest siblings are the best.
That's true.
or Steve's the younger sibling.
That's right. But we're lucky that we all have, like I said, siblings are siblings, so there's always going to be whatever. But for part and parcel, we're all on very good terms with them, which is really good.
And I have no problem, just being like, you're wrong. We're doing it this way. Just kidding.
Like an older sibling thinks they know everything.
Look, do you ever see the memes where it says, if it's the oldest daughter, the oldest granddaughter, like, don't mess with her because she's just like, and that's me. I'm the oldest granddaughter. I'm the oldest.
No kidding. We called you out on this podcast once and you already like lost your mind. You jumped ahead.
That's right.
See, I don't do it often, so they have to just remind me every 2 seconds because I'm usually perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's the word.
My halo keeps falling. Dang. All right, let's move on to the next one. Generational differences, conflicting views on health, independence, or money. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I don't think of anything outwardly that like my parents and I are like clash about. That's like a generational thing.
No, I don't think so, to be honest.
That
doesn't ring true so much for me.
No, not really at all. Yeah.
Burnout risk, juggling work, personal life, and caregiving. We talked about that super briefly, but I know.
Yeah, that really ties into the sandwich generation piece.
Well, but here's an example, like to sort of just tie it back really quick that you both talked about. Like you said, your dad had hip surgery and your mom had a stroke. I mean, depending on how long that from start to finish was, like, you were working, you were going to the hospitals, you were helping your other parent, you were, you know what I mean? So like you can talk to that a little bit.
Oh,
about, like,
that's true. I mean, the whole process for my dad's hip surgery was like, I want to say at least 2 years with the first surgeon, like, helping my dad get like on track to lose the weight and everything the first surgeon wanted and stuff, and then all the meetings and follow-ups until we got him to the second surgeon and then the surgery. That was probably a good 2 years.
Yeah. No, and that's the one thing we were all kind of lucky too, where it's like it's a day here or a day there or things like that. It's not like a consistent, like where you have someone that's like.
Well, but you guys kind of missed my sort of segue I was giving you guys as I was talking about like when your mom did have the stroke. It was like she was in the hospital for back to back days. So for that time.
No, that's what I was kind of saying though. Like, thankfully, it was for a finite period. So the burnout. It was tough, but
you could still have burnout.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that you get a little taste of it, but it was a couple of days, and then it was like, okay, now she's home, and it's it wasn't like my grandparents where it was like a 5-year thing, or somebody.
But I don't think the timeline matters. I think just in that time period.
No, I'm just saying though, it's a lot harder, to juggle a.
But here's a question to follow up with that though. Since your mom did have the stroke and it was a very traumatizing situation to get that phone call and to have to see her and like, all this and how scared she was, like in the back of your head, are you always kind of on edge? You're going to get another phone call like that?
I mean, I don't really think about it that much, to be honest. Yeah. I mean,
Steve's brain works different than me.
No, I mean, but she could never have that happen.
I know.
So I try not to think about it too much because
it's not healthy to dwell.
I guess to sum up what I was saying was like whether it's 2 days or 2 years or an infinite amount of time, I was trying to give the example that like it's a lot. Like burnout can happen when you have to work, in some cases take care of kids.
Absolutely. I was just saying, I was very thankful that it was only a week and not 6 months or 8 years of me every single, because you hear about people who are like basically their main caregiver for their parent like 24/7. It's like having a child again.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that, a burnout would be a given for sure. Like,
Oh, totally.
you know.
All right. So last but not least, is legacy and storytelling, preserving family history before memories fade. It was funny. I was actually just having a random conversation with Steve about this for some odd reason. I don't even know why. But I was talking about how I was watching the Kardashians, and one of the things they did with their like grandma, so Kris Kardashian's mom, is they decided to do like a video interview with her. So they obviously have professional camera crews and whatever.
Yeah.
And they basically like did a biography of her and asked her questions about stuff she was talking about so that them, the great grandchildren and generations to come could watch it and hear all the stories that, you know, over time, unfortunately, go away.
It'll fade. Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh my God, that's like really, really cool.
They have like books now I've seen advertised, like it's popped up on Instagram or something like that, but
Legacy
it's like that,
books,
like a legacy they can give it to your dad to fill out or your mom to
I
fill
like
out.
the video diary thing now.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing because I bought my parents each one of those books for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
They're blank.
That's what I'm saying. I think you need to do the video diary. And I think it's even cooler when like, you know, like she interviewed her mom and she, as like the child to like, you think you know most stuff about your mom, but like watching it and she was just like, whoa, what? I didn't know you had this like rendezvous with this guy and like all this
there's
like
probably
fun
tons
stuff.
of stuff that we don't know about our parents.
Absolutely.
But like, I think it's a really cool, and you get more information when it's kind of just like it turns into like a conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a really cool idea.
Oh yeah, no, I would love to do some of that because, like, you know, my parents have all these different, especially because my dad's family, where I didn't know, like, my dad was 6 when his father died.
Yeah.
He was like 22, I think, when his mom died.
Well, and your dad's,
so that side of the family, like, I don't know like anything.
well, and your
about.
dad's family, you know,
It's not very close with my uncle and
well,
stuff.
no,
so.
I was gonna say like, you know, not super close generationally, but like, you know, they're from a different country. So, you know, like Europe and whatever.
No, so that's like, I would love to know that
and
stuff.
same
So,
with you, like your family's like, you know, your dad's born here, obviously, but like,
my dad's family came from Europe.
Yeah,
exactly. He actually just wrote. My dad wrote a book of stories from his childhood and his kind of how his grandfather came to
cool.
Canada.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I just finished reading it. It's actually pretty crazy, a little disturbing, but I got through it. Yeah.
No, but that's
what wasn't easy, like getting settled in Canada for a lot of people.
no, that just reminds me. My uncle did that. He spent years and years and years interviewing people in my family and visiting places like that. Like, you know, his grandfather went to or whatever, like in the war, tons and tons of research. And he wrote a book about the history of, it was my grandma's like family and the history of them. And so now we have this book because, you know, even my mom was reading it. It was like, oh, I didn't know that, but it was really cool to
that's super
see
cool.
the history of it.
Yeah, no, I would love to read that. I'm like, I want to try and do something with my parents.
Out of all the parents, well, I think Eric's dad and I think like your mom would do really great with like video diary.
Probably, yeah. I think my mom would be.
Your mom likes to talk a lot, and your dad loves the spotlight.
Oh yeah, exactly. He loves being the center of attention, so it's
but
not a
you would
problem.
love it. But your dad would probably, like you said, he has that book, but he'd probably have like
side business.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, video diary.
No, but seriously,
yeah, no, I'm not joking. Yeah,
it's a thing. Like
take that offline.
Yeah,
okay.
Put a pin in that one.
Put a pin in that one.
But no, I think it's I mean, because there's so many stories. I mean, there's certain histories you can look up, you know, through like ancestry.com. You could probably figure out like I'm related to this person or this person, but that's not the stories of like.
No.
You know, that your mom heard from your grandmother, my mom heard from her grandfather, and this and that. Like, you know, they get passed down. Those are what get lost.
Well, it's like just a perfect example is like a couple of weekends ago, I was with my mom, and she has told this story sporadically throughout the years in different situations. But, you know, she always tells a story about how when she was like literally 2 years old, like still sleeping in a crib, and she like saw a quote unquote ghost. To this day, she still remembers it. She still is convinced it's what it was. She was 2 years old. But like stuff like that, like over time, that story is going to like go away.
No, that's what I'm saying. Those are the stories.
But that's
like,
I think it's a super cool story. But like my niece and nephew may never hear that story if it kind of just.
No, or if they were to hear it now when they're like.
They're not going to remember it.
No, it's
you know
when
that's called second death. There's an author. I forget.
No, I've heard that they say everyone dies twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When your body leaves the
when the story stops,
and the last time someone on this earth speaks your name or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really sad. But no, I
on
mean,
that happy note.
No, but I think it's just important, you know, to have some sort of little legacy.
No, it is because I think every family has interesting stories, funny stories, crazy, how people came to the country or
Oh yeah.
whatever, how people got started in business or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of interesting stories. Yeah.
But I think like we are still quote unquote, well, not quote unquote, but we're very lucky that our parents are.
Oh yeah, knock on wood.
We
say
don't
that.
have
totally.
We
Yeah,
don't. No, but we don't have a lot of like
Yeah, our
we're not
parents are
deep
relatively.
in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric still, is even luckier. He still has a grandparent who's alive, who
Yeah.
obviously you have to care for more. But at
yeah,
least
understandably.
it's like you can see what's down the line. It's like a weird thing, eh?
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully we all make it to that rightful age one day.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that your grandma's still independent. I mean, like you say, help her get
Living on
groceries
her
up
own
the
still,
like
yeah.
Here's
it's amazing. Tip
fun-
of the hat to her.
A fun fact, my grandma and Eric's grandmother were the same age, like literally a month or two apart. And it was always, okay, not like really, but like, it's like, oh, my grandma died first. Damn it. We lost the race. Grandma. I'm just kidding. It's just a funny joke. So you can't be so serious about it sometimes.
I was
You
gonna
have
say,
to
I won
make a
that race.
joke.
My grandma,
Well,
she
no,
kicked the
but-
bucket like 30 years ago.
That's what I mean. Your grandma.
Oh, yeah.
None of us met your grandma. But
Well, the funny thing was, she
No.
was like not much younger than your grandparents
Yeah.
were now when she died, and I was like 30 years
Yeah.
ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I
know.
mean, like, like I said, like I've met your grandmother, you guys had met my grandmother. So,
Many times, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's interesting. But
Yeah, no, absolutely.
yeah, comment below. Let us know if you guys are kind of at that age where you're having to start to care for your parents, whether it be like, something small or in a grander scheme.
Any tips or tricks you want to share? Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys, that's it for today's podcast. We thank you so very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Bye
everyone.
guys.